Trackwrestling.com here in Cleveland, Ohio, 2018 NCAA Wrestling Championships. The skip, Pat Popolizio, what a weekend for the Wolfpack. You guys tied with the Wolverines for 4th and the team standings. First question for you before we dive into the meat and potatoes. How did you get the nickname Skip?
All right, so we're going to clear the air here. The team made a bet with me, I think it was 2 years ago at the national duels. We were out in Iowa, and the guys made a bet if we won the dual meet, I had to change my Twitter name. I told them you could pick anything as long as it wasn't anything negative. They could pick the name, and it had to be something positive, and that's what they went with. So I obviously changed it, and now it's one of those where it's like, I don't know if I can go back and change it to something different. We'll have to come up with another bet.
Let's start with your national champion. Michael Machiavello beat Jared Haught. They had wrestled twice previous, couple of hard-fought battles. Yeah. What impressed you most? What was the difference in Michael tonight?
First, obviously, he's a great competitor. He's beaten us twice, and to come out on the winning end here, obviously, speaks volume for Mach with his mental side of the sport. And I think that's what really came down to, is him believing in himself and trusting that at the right time he would find a way to win, and he did. You know, I think those guys wrestled both matches. No one scored a takedown. And Mach finally got the first takedown in 3 matches, and that tells you the level of kid you're wrestling, and both guys' defense is that high.
Good way to go out for him. Yeah, what's that like when a senior that you've known for a long time?
It's so rewarding, and that's why, you know, there's so much emotion tied to these guys, at least for me. And, you know, it's hard not to get caught up in it, but he's special. He's a kid that was in North Carolina, one-time state champ, started wrestling his freshman year in high school, you know, and I don't think he was highly recruited, but we saw some ability in him, and I was more impressed with his off-the-mat mentality, and that's what we went after, and I knew if we could get him in a room and he stayed with it, he would be a successful individual.
You remember anything from the first meeting with him?
I remember he was a little clueless on what college wrestling was and little things like that, but he's just a very honest, sincere kid, and he's come a long way and helped build this program with his leadership behind the scenes for us, and it's been tremendous just having him around and watching him succeed like this.
What's been the biggest difference in Hayden Hidley since he came to NC State? I think one of the crazy stats tonight, Pat, was that he was, I think, unranked in the coaches poll at the start of the season. Definitely. And now he's an All-American, 1 loss on the season. Pretty impressive. Yeah,
very impressive. And that's another kid that's committed to winning and doing everything right outside the room. He lives his lifestyle to be a national champ, and it put him in position. Obviously, he fell short tonight against, you know, one of the best kids in the country at all weights. So it put him in position because of what he does outside the room, and he's one of those that's going to go back to the drawing board and study some things and keep working on it this offseason so he can win a national title.
I'm always very careful to give opinions because not a big fan of predictions, and I don't know the circumstances. There's a million of them, and I know virtually none of them. But I will say this. I saw Tariq Wilson. We did that match with you guys, the Big Ten Network, against Nebraska. First time I'd ever seen him, and I thought, this kid, he's got that length. He was tough on top. And I wish I would have had the courage to say, keep an eye on this kid. He's going to do some big things. Speak about the effort you got from him this weekend.
Unbelievable. You know, he finally showed up and wrestled the 7 minutes. See, a lot of times in these matches he's been wrestling, he'll make a mistake and give up 4 or 6 points. And, you know, it's hard to dig back from that. But he believed in himself. You know, he didn't have the best ACC tournament. He went down on a little low and then came back, gave him some time off after that, and got his mind back to being 100%. And he let things fly here, and that's something we were preaching as a staff, is to not be afraid to win, because sometimes it can be, you know, it can set kids back. They're afraid to do it, and he went out there and put it on the line and got some huge wins this weekend for himself, and then obviously for our team scoring.
What puts the biggest smile on your face when you look at the cumulative efforts here in Cleveland?
It's rewarding. You know, we had guys that didn't accomplish their personal goals here, you know, like Sean Foss and Pete Renda. Sean got hurt in the early round, so it kind of limited what he could do. But to leave here with the team trophy, that's everybody's effort on this team. I think everybody won a match, so they scored points for us, and they're going to leave here with a trophy that, you know, is the first time for our program to get a team trophy.
25 years down the road, when you think about Kevin Jack, what'll come to mind when you're sitting in your cabin, rocking out of the patio?
Cabin in the mountains. I'm going to think of a kid that helped put us in position to start competing at the next level for a program. He's a program builder. You know, he was another kid that wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school, and put us in position now to be one of the better teams in the country. And he's a 3-time All-American. I think he's number 2 in wins in NC State, so that speaks for him.
When you look at yourself, Pat, great coach, the job you've done, and I know it takes an army and it takes so many people. You get great support from the administration, but asking you to be a little bit, you know, pat yourself on the back a little bit.
Appreciate that.
You know, when you sit back and reflect on this, what are you, you know, deep inside your heart? What warms your heart thinking about where you're at?
Like I tell the guys, you know, it's got to be a lifestyle for you, and at the end of the day, that's what this is for me. It's, you know, it's wrestling. This is my hobby. This is obviously my job, but this is my life. So I'm committed to it. I'm committed to putting guys in position to win a national title, and you know, I'll commit myself to go out and try to win a team title, and this put us one step closer to that. But wrestling is everything to me, you know, and that's why I think this is very rewarding. What's
been most critical in getting to this point with the program and the way it's built?
Sticking to, you know, there's some times you got to be tough on guys, and that's hard to do at times. You know, you got to keep kids in line and in check and make sure they're going down the right path, socially, academically. You know, even the training. Sometimes it's hard to get on when your best guy. You know, maybe it's a day where Kevin's not having a great day in the room. Not saying him single-handedly, but there's guys every now and then that come into practice, and you don't want to ride them. They're your best guys, but you got to remind them that, hey, if you want to win a national title, I need more out of you. And it's hard to do on a coach, because you want your guys to like you, love you, and trust you. And sometimes you got to go to that next step and push them to places they've never been or are going to be uncomfortable.
Highest finish in program history, the Wolfpack taking a 4th-place team trophy back to NC State. Pat, always appreciate it. Congratulations.
Same. Appreciate
Take a few seconds and smell the roses. Enjoy this special night.
Tonight. So thank you for everything.
Thanks, Pat.
Appreciate it.